Hi, my name is Alex Carlucci with Gustan Associates. I want to talk to you about bankruptcies and foreclosures and how they work together if you use a bankruptcy to protect yourself from a foreclosure. So a lot of you people had trouble years ago, back in 2008, 2009, 2010, and even 2012, and you might have gone bankrupt and you might have surrendered your property in your bankruptcy. So when you file the bankruptcy papers, there's one page in your bankruptcy papers that allows you to check a box, surrender or reaffirm. If you check surrender, that means you're basically giving your keys away and you're going to move out of your house, and you're going to give the bank the house and they're going to deal with it, and you're not responsible for that foreclosure because you've declared it in your bankruptcy. Then there's a box you check reaffirm. So let me tell you how those two boxes will affect your loan process down the road. If you check surrender, let's say it's 2012, and you somehow managed to live in the house till 2015 or 2016, even though you check surrender, the rule is for Fannie Mae that if the house were to foreclose in 2018 and now it's 2019, but you check surrender on a bankruptcy for those from 2012, they'll go off the bankruptcy rules on a conventional loan. Now, to get a loan on a conventional loan after a discharge of bankruptcy, it's a 4-year wait. A foreclosure is a 7-year wait. So if you had to go off the foreclosure date, which just happened 2 years ago, you'd have to wait 7 years to do a conventional loan from that foreclosure date. Or you could do FHA 3 years, but you would be not eligible depending on the month that you foreclosed on or you bankrupt in 2012. Let's say it was December. Right now we're in August. You'd have to wait until December for that. You'd have to wait until 4 years from the bankruptcy date, which you'd be okay. So I don't want to confuse you. So if you check surrender and your house were to foreclose last year, but you check for surrender in 2012, we'll go off the 4-year waiting period from 2012. So 2016, you've been eligible to get a conventional loan. Now, if you go FHA and your foreclosure happened last year, they go off the foreclosure date no matter what you check on that box. Now, if you check the box reaffirm, but then you moved out in 2015, but for some reason it didn't foreclose until 2018, you have to wait the 7 years for conventional from that date, or 3 years FHA from the date that the deed transferred out of your name. So the advantage of this program is for conventionals where you did a bankruptcy years ago and it just recently foreclosed, we can go off the bankruptcy date only if you picked surrender. So it's really key that we find those bankruptcy papers and see the word surrender checked, and as long as it's 4 years past the discharge date of your bankruptcy, we're good to go. If you checked reaffirm, we are at the mercy of the foreclosure dates, which is 7 years conforming or conventional and 3 years from FHA. So keep that in mind. Conventional will let you use the bankruptcy date discharge if you check surrender. All right, FHA is still the same. Whatever the foreclosure date is, the foreclosure date. I've done loans with people who just recently foreclosed as little as like 2 months ago, because they had checked surrender 10 years ago on their bankruptcy paper on that property, and somehow they managed to keep the property. A lot of underwriters still don't want to approve that, but I have a special investor that can get it done because the guidelines specifically say there's no ands, ifs, or buts. If you go off the bankruptcy date and that's it. If the bankruptcy date's 5 years ago and it's check surrender, it doesn't matter what that property happened to that property. That's what the guidelines say. A lot of underwriters say, hey, that person took advantage of a bank, I'm going to deny it. So give us a call. We can help you with this loan. My phone number is 630-915-7550, or go to gustanshow.com. Thank you.